Good morning. Caleb Cook here with the End of Watch Foundation, and thank you for joining us for this morning's reading of the names for this month's End of Watch Memorial. Unfortunately, we have 30 officers we have to we are rucking for today. July was a rough month, so if you see us out on the roads around here in Milton, give us a honk, stop, say hello. If you're not in the local area, you can join in your miles from wherever you are. I do want to take this opportunity to also announce that this year's annual End of Watch Memorial Ruck will be kicking off. Registrations will be opening very soon. Our makeup date is going to be October 1, 2, and 3. And we've had to make some considerable changes to the structure of the event, so just pay attention to our Facebook page and our website to see how we're going to be done to help keep you safe during this time. I'm going to start off with the reading of the names. So we have Police Officer Jason Judd, Peoria Police Department, Arizona, End of Watch Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. Police Officer Jason Judd was killed in a motorcycle crash at Liberty High School near 97th Avenue and Deer Valley Road. He had completed a motor demonstration for the Youth Citizen Police Academy camp when he was involved in the crash on one of the sidewalks. The juveniles had already departed the demonstration and did not witness the crash. He was transported to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Officer Judd was a U.S. Air Force veteran and had served with the Peoria Police Department for 21 years, age 52 to her 21 years.
Parole Officer Joseph William Lang, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Parole Division. End of Watch, July 1st. Parole Officer Joseph Lang died after contracting COVID-19 while performing offender supervision duties. Officer Lang had served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Parole Division for 25 years and was assigned to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles. He is survived by a son, mother, father, and 2 half-sisters.
Sergeant Kelvin Dwayne Mixon. End of Watch Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. Sergeant Kelvin Mixon died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among members of the Edwards Police Department. He remained on a ventilator in the ICU for several weeks before passing away. Sergeant Mixon had served with the Edwards Police Department for 22 years. He is survived by his wife, son, 3 daughters, grandchildren, and siblings.
Chief Deputy Lee R. Weber, Hughes County Sheriff's Office, South Dakota, End of Watch Friday, July 3rd, 2020. Chief Deputy Lee Weber drowned in the Missouri River 2 miles north of Fort Pierre while attempting to rescue his 8-year-old son who had fallen out of a moving boat. Multiple agencies are involved in search and recovery efforts for his body. Chief Deputy Weber dove into the water without a life jacket in an attempt to reach his son, but was swept away by the current. His son was rescued by other nearby boaters. Chief Deputy Weber's body was recovered on July 9, 2020. Chief Deputy Weber was a veteran of the South Dakota National Guard and had served with the Hughes County Sheriff's Office for 5 years. He is survived by his wife and 6 children. Age 38, tour 5 years.
Police Officer Anthony Dia, Toledo Police Department, Ohio. End of Watch Saturday, July 4th, 2020. Police Officer Anthony Dia was shot and killed after responding to a disturbance at a Home Depot store at 1035 West Alexis Road at about 12:30 a.m. A drunk subject had started to harass participants of an informal car show that was in the parking lot of the store. Officer Dia was the first officer on scene and attempted to contact the subject. The man produced a handgun and opened fire, striking Officer Dia in the chest. Despite his wounds, Officer Dia was able to return fire as the man fled. The subject fled into a nearby wooded area where he committed suicide. Witnesses to the shooting began to provide medical aid to Officer Dia. Other responding officers transported him to a local hospital where he succumbed to his wounds. Officer Dia had served with the Toledo Police Department for 2 years, had previously served with the Mercy Health Police Department for 2 years. He is survived by his wife, 2 sons, and parents, age 26 to 4 years.
Corrections Officer Kenneth Harbin. Corrections Officer Kenneth Harbin died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Daniel Unit in Snyder, Texas. Officer Harbin had served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 30 years. He was age 60.
Captain Glenn Allen Green. End of watch Monday, July 6, 2020. Captain Glenn Allen Green died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Pike County Correctional Facility. Captain Green was a U.S. Army veteran of the Vietnam War. He had previously served with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. He was predeceased by 1 son and survived by his wife, daughter, and 2 grandchildren.
Officer Alonzo H. Marietta, United States Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection. End of watch Thursday, July 9, 2020. Officer Alfonso Marietta died after contracting COVID-19 in a presumed exposure while on duty at Tucson International Airport in Arizona. Officer Marietta volunteered to assist with local policing duties at the airport after an outbreak of COVID-19 amongst members of the Tucson International Airport Police Department disrupted staffing. Officer Marietta had served with the United States Customs and Border Protection, Office of Field Operations, and the former United States Immigration and Naturalization Service for 32 years. He is survived by his wife and 4 children.
Lieutenant Bobby AlMayer, Corpus Christi International Airport, Department of Public Safety, Texas. End of watch Friday, July 10th, 2020. Lieutenant Bobby AlMayer died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak within the agency, including multiple officers on his squad. Lieutenant AlMayer had served with the Corpus Christi International Airport Department of Public Safety for 24 years. He is survived by his wife, 3 daughters, age 53 to 24 years.
Police Officer Garza Jr., McAllen Police Department, Texas. End of watch Saturday, July the 11th. Police Officer Garza and Police Officer Chavez were shot and killed from an ambush while responding to a domestic disturbance at a call at the 3500 block of Quintetta Street. They had approached the front door of the home when they were suddenly ambushed and shot before drawing their weapons and making an emergency broadcast. Other officers who were sent to check on them came across the scene and immediately requested backup. The subject who ambushed them committed suicide as additional units arrived on the scene. Officer Garza had served with the McAllen Police Department for 9 years. He was 35.
Police Officer Ismael Chavez. End of watch Saturday, July 11th, 2020. Police Officer Ismael Chavez and Police Officer AlMayer Garza were shot and killed from an ambush while responding to a domestic disturbance call at the home of 3500 block of Quintetta Street. They had approached the front door of the home where they were suddenly ambushed and shot before drawing their weapons or making an emergency broadcast. Other officers who were sent to check on them came across the scene and immediately requested backup. The subject who ambushed them committed suicide as additional units arrived on scene. Officer Chavez had served with the McAllen Police Department for 2.5 years. He was 39 years old.
Border Patrol Agent Enrique J. Rositas, Jr., United States Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection. End of watch Saturday, July 11, 2020. Border Patrol Agent Enrique Rositas died after contracting COVID-19 during a presumed exposure while on duty at the McAllen station. Agent Rositas was a United States Air Force veteran. He had served with the United States Border Patrol for 22 years and was assigned to the Rio Grande Valley sector. He is survived by his wife, son, and daughter, age 53.
Officer Roel de la Fuente, United States Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, Office of Field Operations, U.S. Government. End of watch Monday, July 13th, 2020. Officer Roel de la Fuente died after contracting COVID-19 as a result of presumed exposure at the FAR commercial facility in Hidalgo County, Texas. Officer de la Fuente had served with the United States Customs and Border Protection Office of Field Operations for 19 years. He is survived by his wife and 2 children.
Police Officer Jonathan Shoup, Bethel Police Department, Washington. End of watch, Monday, July 13th. Police Officer Jonathan Shoup was shot and killed in the 10,300 block of Woodinville Drive following a vehicle pursuit. At approximately 9:40 p.m., Officer Shoup and his field training officer attempted to stop a vehicle for failing to display a license plate. The vehicle fled the stop, struck a man on a scooter, and then crashed on Woodinville Drive. The occupant of the vehicle emerged, made anti-police statements, and immediately opened fire on the officers who were still in the patrol car. Officer Shoup's field training officer returned fire, during which Officer Shoup was inadvertently struck in the head and killed. The man was apprehended 6 hours later, hiding on the roof of a nearby building. Officer Shoup was a U.S. Coast Guard veteran and had served with the Bethel Police Department for 1 year. He is survived by his fiancée, mother, and 2 children. Age 32, tour 1 year, badge number 119.
Investigator Donald K. Sumner, Patton State Hospital Police Department, California. End of watch, July 14th, 2020. Investigator Donald Sumner died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and patients at the facility. Investigator Sumner was a U.S. Air Force veteran and had served with the Patton State Hospital Police Department for 19 years. He is survived by his wife and 7 children. Age 65, badge 426.
Director N. Kyle Coleman, Bahar County Fire Marshal's Office, Texas. End of watch, Tuesday, July 14th, 2020. Director Kyle Coleman died after contracting COVID-19 while coordinating the county's emergency response to the pandemic. Director Coleman had served in law enforcement for 46 years. He had retired from the Bahar County Sheriff's Office before joining the Bahar County Fire Marshal's Office, where he remained a sworn law enforcement officer and served as the county's director of the Office of Emergency Management. He is survived by his wife and 2 stepsons. Director Coleman was a highly respected researcher of forgotten line-of-duty deaths in Texas and surrounding states. He was a regular contributor and researcher of the Officer Down Memorial page and the Texas Peace Officers Memorial Foundation. He was personally responsible for the discovery and research of countless line-of-duty deaths in Texas. Age 69, tour 46 years.
Corrections Officer Jerry Esparza, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Institutional Division, Texas. End of watch, Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. Corrections Officer Jerry Esparza died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Jester III Unit in Richmond, Texas. Officer Esparza had served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 25 years. He is survived by his wife and 4 children. Age 45, tour 25 years.
Master Sergeant Henry Turner, Louisiana Department of Corrections. End of watch, Saturday, July 18th. Master Sergeant Henry Turner died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola. Sergeant Turner had served with the Louisiana Department of Corrections for 24 years. He is survived by his wife and 3 sons. 2 sons of his also work for the agency. Age 65.
Deputy Sheriff William Garner, Franklin County Sheriff's Office, Georgia. End of watch, July 19th, 2020. Deputy Sheriff Bill Garner was struck and killed by a vehicle while at the scene of a single vehicle crash near mile marker 164 on I-85 at about 7:15 p.m. He was assisting the occupants of the involved vehicle when another vehicle lost control, entered the median, and struck him. Deputy Garner was transported to St. Mary's Sacred Heart, where he succumbed to his injuries. The man driving the vehicle that struck him was charged with homicide by vehicle. Deputy Garner has served with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for 1 year. He had previously served with the Oconee County Sheriff's Office and Pendergrass Police Department for over 12 years. He is survived by his parents and his brother, age 53, badge 635.
Corrections Officer Jackson Ponge, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, end of watch, July 19, 2020. Corrections Officer Jackson Ponge died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Leichner State Jail in Humboldt. Officer Ponge had served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 4 years. He is survived by his wife and one child. Age 56, tour 4 years.
Deputy Sheriff William K. Nichols, DeSoto County Sheriff's Office, Mississippi. End of watch, Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020. Deputy Sheriff William Nichols drowned while attempting to save his son from a rip current near Sandestin, Walton County, Florida. He was able to get his son to safety, but was swept back out away from the shore. His body was recovered a short time later. Deputy Nichols had served with the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office for 10 years and served as the agency's search and rescue director. He is survived by his wife and 2 children, age 33 to her 10 years.
Deputy Sheriff Oscar Rocca, Alameda County Sheriff's Office, California. End of watch, Thursday, July 23rd. Deputy Sheriff Rocca died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Santa Rita Jail in Dublin, California. He remained on a ventilator for approximately 1 month before passing away. Deputy Rocca had served with the Alameda County Sheriff's Office for 25 years and was planning on retiring in January 2021. He is survived by his wife, son, 2 stepchildren, and parents, age 57.
Border Patrol Agent Augustus Aguilar Jr., United States Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, United States Border Patrol, U.S. Government. End of watch, Saturday, July 25th, 2020. Border Patrol Agent Augustus Aguilar died after contracting COVID-19 and a presumed exposure while on duty. Agent Aguilar had served with the United States Border Patrol for 19 years and was assigned to the Eagle Pass South Station. He is survived by his wife, 3 children, parents, and 10 siblings. Age 45, tour 19 years, badge P209.
Investigator Mark Brown, Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct 5, Texas. End of watch, Saturday, July 25th, 2020. Investigator Mark Brown died after contracting COVID-19 during a presumed exposure while on duty. He had been assigned to protest marches, COVID testing sites, and food giveaways during the pandemic. Investigator Brown had served with the Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct 5, for 3 years and had served in law enforcement for 23 years. He had previously served with the Hempstead Police Department and the Spring Beach Independent School District Police Department. He is survived by his wife and 4 children. Age 53, tour 23 years.
Sgt Corey Pendergrass, Lauderhill Police Department, Florida. End of watch, Sunday, July 26, 2020. Sgt Corey Pendergrass died after contracting COVID-19 while on duty, July 13, 2020. Sgt Pendergrass had served with the Lauderhill Police Department for 20 years and had previously served with the Broward County Sheriff's Office for 3 years. He is survived by his wife and 6 children. Sgt Pendergrass was posthumously promoted to the rank of sergeant. Age 51, tour 23 years.
Deputy Sheriff Dylan Pickle, Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Mississippi. End of watch, Sunday, July 26th. Deputy Sheriff Dylan Pickle was struck and killed by a vehicle while conducting a safety checkpoint on Hamilton Road near Sealy Drive. He and several other deputies were conducting a checkpoint when a vehicle struck him and a second deputy at 9:45 p.m. Both deputies were transported to a hospital in Tupelo where Deputy Pickle succumbed to his injuries and shortly Injury shortly after midnight. Deputy Pickle is a Mississippi National Guard veteran, age 24.
Corrections Officer 4, Ruben Martinez, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Institutional Division, Texas. End of watch, Sunday, July 26, 2020. Corrections Officer 4, Ruben Martinez, died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Lopez State Jail. Officer Martinez has served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 2 years. He is survived by his 3 children. Age 48, badge number not available.
Corrections Officer Eric Johnson, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Institutional Division, Texas. End of watch, Monday, July 27, 2020. Corrections Officer Eric Johnson died after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among staff and inmates at the Byrd Unit in Huntsville, Texas. Officer Johnson had served with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 18 years. He is survived by his wife, 4 children, and parents. His wife, father, and stepmother also work for the agency. Age 37, tour 18 years.
Special Agent John Bost III, United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, U.S. Government. End of watch, Tuesday, July 28, 2020. Special Agent John Bost was killed as the result of an accidental discharge of a rifle inside the Kaihea police station in Maui, Hawaii. Special Agent Bost had served with the ATF for 15 years and had previously served with the Charlotte Police Department, North Carolina, for 5 years. He is survived by his parents. Tour, 20 years.
Trooper Caleb Starr, Michigan State Police. End of watch, Friday, July 31st. Trooper Caleb Starr succumbed to his injuries sustained 3 weeks earlier when his vehicle was struck head-on by an intoxicated driver in Ionia County. He was traveling west on Grand River Avenue in Boston Township, responding to a low-priority call when a vehicle crossed the center line and struck his vehicle. He had to be extricated from the vehicle and flown by helicopter to Spectrum Health Butterworth Hospital in Grand Rapids, where he remained until succumbing to his injuries. Trooper Starr served with the Michigan State Police for less than 2 years. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. Age 33, tour 1 year, 10 months, badge number 485.
Sgt Steven Splan, Bloomfield Hills Police Department of Public Safety, Michigan. End of watch, Sunday, August 2nd, 2020. Sergeant Steven Splan suffered a fatal heart attack several hours after cutting and removing a large tree that had fallen onto Bloomfield Hills Parkway east of Woodward Avenue at approximately 12:30. He returned to the station and was found unresponsive at approximately 11 p.m. Sergeant Splan had served with the Bloomfield Hills Police Department for 15 years. He is survived by his wife and 4 children. Age 46, badge 325.
Thank you all for joining us as we honor the fallen. Y'all take care.